I've always been fascinated by films, from old classics to new blockbuster films. I've always loved what's gone on behind the scenes rather than what you see on the big screen. My name is Mackenzie Aitchison, I'm 17 years old and I aspire to work in the film industry. The film industry is made up of many different jobs, from directors to runners. There are so many jobs that build up the industry, there is something for everyone. The main responsibility in the industry is producing the technological side of film and television and to provide consumers with entertainment. There is a huge difference between TV and film. TV shows tend to be shorter than films as they range from as little as 3 minutes up to 90 minutes, whereas films tend to be a minimum of 90 minutes excluding short films. These two different types of media tend to be distributed differently, where TV shows can be watched through your TV and films tend to be shown in cinema before being released on DVD or streaming service. As part of the industry, I would like to pursue in the post-production side of film. This is because as an introvert, I thrive in spending hours at my desk editing and seeing a video come together over time. This job would entail taking raw footage taken from the production team and making it into something that mirrors the director's vision. Whether that's an aesthetically pleasing film or gory horror film, you'll need to be able to manipulate the footage to the genre of the film. For example, this image is from the film Whiplash. The image on the left is the final color correction used in the film, whereas the image on the right was raw footage. Different colours can be used for different moods. The yellowy colours in this film showed the intensity between the two main characters. You'll need to be able to cut clips to make sure they are the correct length and to cut out any unwanted footage. You also need to be able to sync audio with a suitable clip to make sure the audio is not ahead of the actors. As part of my course, I've had a lot of experience in using these skills and I wish to expand these and start learning new skills to prepare for future projects. When going for a job as a film editor, they will require you to meet their requirements for the job. They will need you to have a certain number of skills, knowledge, experience and qualifications. For skills, I would say that I have a strong passion for film, which is good because they won't hire someone that is not interested in film. I would say I have a good number of skills to express in Premiere Pro, but not as much as I would like. I'd also like to say that I have a good eye for detail. This means that when editing, I will be good at finding little mistakes in footage and be able to find things that other people might not be able to. At the moment, I have had some experience in editing footage for people, but would like to expand into editing more films to build up my portfolio. Currently, I have a good amount of knowledge at using video editing software for editing videos and films, which is the number one thing they would look for in this job. In terms of qualifications, I currently have a diploma in creative media and hope to expand that this year to an extended diploma. This will put me in a good place to go to university next year. This is good because employers will be able to see that I've been interested in this field for a while. There are some skills that I don't have. These include networking and organisation skills. Networking is important in this industry because having connections with people in the industry can help myself get involved more. This will be good for future employers as they will be able to see that I can link with other people in the industry. Organisation skills are essential for this job, and I need to work on this a lot. There have been some instances where I'm not organised when working, causing interruptions in big projects, so developing this skill can help me in the future, and employers won't hire an unorganised person because when it comes to editing, they'll be all over the place. I would say that I need to get more experience doing work in the industry to increase my chance of getting a job. Although doing college projects and a few YouTube videos, I think that having more experience in editing films is needed for me to progress and develop my skills further. The more experience I get, the more prepared I'll be for when it comes to working. My knowledge in using video editing software includes Adobe Creative Cloud and DaVinci Resolve. These are strong key software that you'll need to be experienced in to work as an editor. However, some companies require to use Avid Video Editor. I haven't had any experience in using this, so having some knowledge in using it will help me if I need to use it for certain productions. With qualifications, I'll hopefully get my extended diploma in creative media next year and progress to university. Having an extended diploma in the subject will help show future employers that I have had some qualifications in the subject. Hopefully I can go on to get a degree in film post-production. This will help because I will develop my skills more and hopefully produce better films to add to my portfolio ready for job interviews. To meet the requirements to become a film editor, I am currently working on college assignments and projects which will help me get a qualification in the course. In the future, to meet the requirements, I'm going to try to focus more on editing films in my spare time rather than the filming aspect, because focusing on the editing side will be more beneficial for me. To do this, I could possibly work with someone in my class on a project together to help us both out. I would also like to get more experience using After Effects, because it will be handy to know it to a good standard. And I would also need to get a lot of experience in using Avid Video Editor, because it is used as much as any other software. After much consideration, I decided university because I think gaining a high-level qualification in film editing whilst being taught by professionals in that field will help me progress into the industry. I didn't really want to go into employment straight away because I still have a lot of things to learn and there is no room for error in employment compared to university. Employment will also be really hard to find after college because I won't have the relevant qualifications. I could go into becoming self-employed, but once again I don't think I have the right skills and knowledge to become self-employed yet. Then there's apprenticeships. Although you get trained by professionals in the field, at the end of the course you will get a qualification, but not as high as a university course. Although doing an apprenticeship can progress onto a job, I want to be able to get the best qualifications possible and learn the best skills required for the job in the industry. Yes, there are downsides to university, such as living expenses and the overall cost of the course, but I'm not fazed by any of this because you'll pay it back over years when you're earning over a certain amount of money. University is a great option for you where you'll be able to develop your skills in your chosen subject and also allows you to develop as a person. Chris Dickens. You're probably wondering, who's that? Chris Dickens is a famous British film editor, most famously known for editing Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz and Slumdog Millionaire, in which he was awarded an Oscar for Best Editor. Chris has edited numerous films with numerous directors. His most famous connection is being him and Edgar Wright, in which they worked on British sitcoms Spaced, Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. So, how did he get to where he is today? From a young age, Chris had an eye for creativity and creating his own films and animations. As he grew older, he wanted to become a sculptor, but realised there wasn't many jobs in that field. This is where he turned back to film. He attended University of Bournemouth to study film, which he got a degree in. After university, he looked into becoming a sound editor as he thought there was more chance of him getting into the industry through sound rather than editing. However, this didn't last long as being a sound editor made him realise how little control over his work he had. So, he went into editing. After editing a few small documentaries and TV programmes, he had his first big call-up for UK sitcom Spaced, in which he worked with director Edgar Wright. After success with Spaced, they both worked together again to make Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Throughout these films, we see the distinctive editing style of quick cuts which Chris has developed. This consists of several shots over a very short period of time. Chris has worked with other big-name directors since then, such as Danny Boyle with Slumdog Millionaire. This film, we see another editing style from Chris, where we see the use of flash cutting and cross cutting. This was the film that got Chris an Oscar for Best Editing. Chris started in this field of work back in 1990 when he finished film school. When being asked how he got into the industry, he said how much it is about who you know. He explained that to get into the industry, He had connections with past students that were then working in the industry, which is something I could try by networking with other people in the university. Another way Chris was able to get into the industry was through free work for people he knew, whether that was a music video or advert. By doing this, he was able to gain experience working for people. He also said that he would look for adverts in the student union for any sort of production jobs going available, and he would do them to get experience and connections with people in the industry. Overall, Chris's journey of getting into the industry was surrounded a lot about who you know and networking. In order for me to get into the industry, I will try networking with people and try to find free work to build up my skills and experience. A lot of things have changed since Chris went into the industry. Nowadays, the chance of you finding jobs in the student union as an advert is very slim. Now you are more likely to find them advertised online. Networking is similar and different in some ways these days. Back then you had to interact with people in person from the industry, but now you can talk to them over email, phone calls, or Teams calls. Since then, video editing software has developed so much, as we now have the likes of Premiere Pro and Avid, which you can edit every minute detail. Chris has had a highly successful career editing many great films, from Shaun of the Dead to Slumdog Millionaire. His editing styles had got him as far as getting an Oscar and a BAFTA. Chris has been a huge influence and inspiration to myself as I continue to learn new skills. I would like to follow Chris's route by going to university and hope to get a degree in film post-production to then progress into the industry.